All right, let's jump right in. We're about to talk about 6 little words that are, well, anything but little. They are basically the keys to unlocking information, the foundation for every great story, and really, the engine that drives all discovery. We're talking, of course, about who, what, where, when, why, and how. You know, the famous writer Rudyard Kipling had this amazing way of putting it in his story, The Elephant's Child. He called these question words his 6 honest serving men. I just love that. He didn't just see them as words on a page, but as these loyal helpers who literally taught him everything he knew.
And that's really the big question for us today, isn't it? Why this specific set of questions? What is it about this particular framework that makes it so unbelievably essential for understanding pretty much everything around us? Well, let's find out.
Now, their most famous modern-day job is probably in the world of journalism. For any reporter, these questions aren't just kind of helpful, they're absolutely crucial. Think of it as their secret code, a fundamental checklist that guarantees any news story is complete, clear, and totally credible.
So check this out. This is where it gets really practical. This table shows you exactly how the framework can take a big, messy event and break it down into simple, understandable parts. Let's just cook up a quick story, right? A local baker, let's call him John Smith, totally blows up online. So, who? John Smith. What happened? He got over 1.5 million followers. Wild. When did this happen? In just 6 months. Where? At his little bakery. But why? Because of his incredible celebrity portrait cakes. And the big one? How? He just started posting his creations on TikTok. See? Just like that, in like 30 seconds, we have the entire story. No critical details are missed.
But here's the thing. This toolkit isn't just for journalists, not even close. This method of breaking down an event has been a core tool for how humans think for thousands of years. Its roots go all the way back to ancient philosophy. I mean, just look at this timeline. It shows just how timeless this whole idea is. We're talking all the way back to around 350 BC, with Aristotle talking about the elements of circumstance to judge human actions. Then Roman rhetoricians used it for debate. Fast forward to 1215, and the church was using a similar framework to guide confessors. And then, finally, in the 1900s, journalism schools made it official and called it the 5 Ws we know and love today.
And what's really amazing is how universal this framework is. It's not just for real-world events. The exact same structure a journalist uses to report the news can also help a literary critic analyze, say, a Shakespeare play.
You can really see this incredible versatility when you put it side by side with a major tool in literary analysis called Burke's dramatistic pentad. The agent is just another word for who. The act is what. The scene covers where and when. Agency is how. And of course, purpose is why. The names are a little different, sure, but the fundamental structure for understanding why people do what they do, it's exactly the same.
Okay, so we've seen just how powerful this framework is across so many different fields. Now let's get down to the nuts and bolts. To really use this tool well, you got to know how to form the questions correctly in English. So let's break down the basic grammar of curiosity.
The single most important rule to remember is a little thing called inversion. Now, it sounds fancy, but all it means is that in a normal statement, the subject comes first, then the verb, like she is sleeping. To turn that into a question, we just flip them. Is she sleeping? That's it. That's inversion.
And this little trick works like a charm for sentences with the verb to be or helping verbs like have or can. They have finished becomes have they finished. I can help becomes how can I help. You notice how the question word like how or why just sits right at the very beginning. But that core flip, that inversion of the subject and the verb, that stays the same.
Okay, but what about a sentence like she went home? We can't say went she home. That just sounds weird, right? For most other verbs, we need to call for backup. We need a special helping verb to make the question work. And our helpers are the trusty trio, do, does, and did.
And the process is just 3 simple steps. You're going to love this. Step 1, start with your basic sentence. She went home. Step 2, stick the right helping verb at the very beginning. Since went is past tense, we use did. So, did she? And now for step 3, and this is the part everyone forgets, so listen up. You have to change the main verb back to its original simple form. So went goes back to being go. Put it all together and you get did she go home? It's because that little word did is already doing all the heavy lifting of showing it's in the past. The main verb gets to just relax. So, each of our honest serving men has a very specific job to do.
Who always asks about a person. What is for a thing or an action. When is all about time. Where is for a place. And why gets to the reason. Then you have which is for when you have a choice from a specific group. And finally, how, which asks about the way something is done. Knowing which one to use is the very first step to getting the answer you're looking for.
Okay, so let's bring this all home. What we really have here is way more than just a list of words or some boring grammar rules. What we have is a superpower, a toolkit for understanding absolutely anything you want.
So let's do a quick recap of the big ideas. These 6 questions are a timeless framework for making sense of any situation. They're the bedrock of clear storytelling in journalism, and their roots go all the way back to ancient Greek philosophy. They give us this universal model for analyzing why people do things. And now, by mastering some simple grammar, like inversion, you can use this incredible tool for yourself.
And that, right there, is what really matters. Learning to ask who, what, when, where, why, and how isn't just about getting better at English. It's about getting better at thinking, at analyzing problems, and, honestly, at connecting with the entire world around you. At the end of the day, every single answer, every new discovery, every great story, it all starts with a question. This simple framework gives you the keys to unlock any of them.